Back to Cybertronian Studios. Today I present to you a Magnet Studios creation. Right? Yep. AI first aid. Now, disclaimer, when I mean AI, I don't mean like AI generated first aid and then I like built it off of that. I mean like he's a robot. But we'll just get straight into it. So, the context of what I mean by robot is he's actually doesn't have like a spark. Although he does have a spark, but he doesn't have a full-on spark. He doesn't think. He doesn't have emotions like a person. But he's pretty much a Wheeljack invented robot, like the normal G1, where they build them. But he never built him with a spark. So this pretty much, this chamber is empty. It's completely empty. The piece wouldn't come off, but you get the deal. It's completely empty. There's nothing in there. But I do like the design. I do think there are heavy flaws, such as this massive forearm and the weird-looking head. But other than that, I like the rest. This is supposed to be like that weird stripe that that they normally have, but that they have. So I also did the back too. The back looks really cool, actually. I love the panel lines. I wanted to add some red there, but clearly I couldn't. I mean, he is top heavy, like. That is really annoying. Mainly because it's not the Securus, so like if I grab him like this, he's definitely gonna break. Because I forgot to review him, so like usually when I have characters in head like that, they very much break extremely easily. Like this broke. So I did want to get the windshield there too. So this is the windshield, and this is like some of the parts, the lights from the car and everything. Little vented pieces. We have some pistons, and then we have pretty much the side of the car. This is the whole side of the car, except most of it's just folded in. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, since they have the massive tires here. It has the massive tires here, with the overused feet, but it just has some red panels. Sorry, I'm having definite technical difficulties in my house, but I'm going to continue working. So he has the nice tire there. I wanted to add tires here too, but maybe like right there. Kind of like that, but that wouldn't work. So I think overall I like the plainness. This is my first time doing a completely plain character, because most of the G1s are really blocky and plain, but most of my characters are easily overdone. So this is my first time doing a very plain like design, but he still has the nice panel shifting, making it look like as if he's supposed to transform, with this spinal cord actually moving out of the way. This piece not so much, because it'll break, yeah, just like that. It'll break the whole thing. So, most of the time, they will fall apart way too easily. That's because if you move hinges you're not supposed to, of course, they will break off. But this can move, but this piece actually moves intentionally, so it doesn't break anything. So, we're going to a small comparison, then articulation, accessories overall, and then that's how that goes. So we're going to stick to basics here with Ironhide, always as a prime example. Right there. I don't know if I have a measuring tape with me, but just right there is the exact comparison. We also have an upcoming character I do not plan on reviewing today, but maybe sometime soon. If I have the motivation or time, because most of these take up my time and motivation, so it's really hard to kind of work with that. But a new character that's probably the best and the last, which I'll do a video of this universe before I go into movies and stuff. We have Sound Blaster. He has his own origin, but you can definitely tell he looks like he's supposed to be a lot bigger than him, but he's a lot taller, mainly because he doesn't have like the attributes that are needed. So really cool. He does take more inspiration, mainly from this part from the Bumblebee movie, but this one too. Just not as much, because the Bumblebee movie does have its own design, so this does not. This takes more so parts from G1. It's not really from G1, it's from that Japanese exclusive thing. I'm not the greatest in memory to memorize it all, but pretty much that's where this thing takes place from. It's and also like my style, because if you look through most of my style, it's a pretty bulky design. But we're gonna go through it all, detail by detail. I don't want to spoil too much, but he's great. Alright. The exact measurements, I think he's about the same 7 inches. He's no 7.5 inches tall. I did a measuring tape last time when I tried to review him before I had to cancel it. So overall, this is it. Now, accessories, he comes with a lot, but he was originally supposed to come with a lot more, like a scalpel, and an ejection. But he comes with this nice launcher that kind of like shifts side to side as if it's kind of a way of reloading, I guess. I don't know. But you would say it'd be doing like that. Or maybe just to get exact precision. But pretty much you pull off the forearm. I'm not going to show you what's in there, but and then you pull off the hand. Then find this piece. Peg that in there. Pull that out. And it's really hard to do that sometimes, but pretty sure you just do that and then it's working. Then you pull the bicep back in, and then you have the cannon. Oh. Since this is like not the best connection, it's going to be like really fragile. And I'm trying to get rid of the habit of saying like a lot because I noticed I've been saying it a bit too much. So, but it's kind of it's very brittle. So you have to be very, very careful with it. So, but we have other pieces, so we're going to continue on with that. The next one we have like a spray. I don't know what you would call a nozzle spray. I don't even know how you pronounce it, but same thing again. You replace it in there, and then it works. I'm trying to go speed through this because I have another review that I have to do, and I need enough storage. Sorry. And stuff. So, and then the next one we have this this gun. I don't really know what you would call it. Just be like those mini small guns. We pretty much just mount it on there, shift it to the side, and then you have a double barrel gun. Pretty cool, right? And then the next one, it's nothing too interesting, but we do have this piece. This is like those scalpel things that you use to remove like bullets or fragments or slowly peel things off. This is pretty much a drill. It's kind of bent, but you remove pretty much a few pieces just to get that working. It looks really small though, and I think the tire came off. That thing loves to come off, but right here you get the piece. You can just pull it out. That's pretty much it for handheld accessories. Now we're going to go on to part swapping. It's nothing too interesting, by the way. It's just mainly around the head. So we'll connect that and we'll continue. So moving on to the part swapping. We don't really have much. I mean we because it's him. Actually, I don't really know why I say we. It's just like a habit because I'm supposed to do reviews with my friends soon, but that's a long story. So we have this piece and we have this piece. This piece is the alternate spark piece, or the piece that keeps it on, which is pretty much not his actual spark, but it's to imitate a spark, but it's actually a detonator that explodes him when he needs to self-destruct. But this is the most harshest part. This is the circuitry, and this is, I guess, the circuitry or brains of the head. And how you remove it is you remove the eyeballs. You remove that piece out, and then you connect it there. That helps with emulate the idea that like they ripped out the helmet or his like skull off. It's very brutal, but I had to include it because that is how he dies in the story from like the future and stuff. It's not really how he dies, but he gets brutally injured until Wheeljack puts him back together and stuff. Well, you can pretty much do that. And then how to remove the spark. It's pretty much just showing how I did the figure, but you pretty much have to try and pry that piece off. But, so you remove the panel piece, push that out, and then that reveals this little gap. And then you find the arc, the spark, and then you just like connect it there. And then you can put this piece back in. And then right there you have the detonator. I don't know what you would want to call it, but that's the spark chamber. The spark chamber. Looks a lot like Marvel-esque. We're gonna get into that sooner or later. But in fact, although I am teasing a bit too early, actually no, I'll tease that at the end of the video. But definitely, you can break him apart a few and make him look like as if he's been through a battle with Sound Blaster. So, and then moving it, it's simple. You have to remove this flap and then pull that piece out. And push that back. Find the chest piece and then slot it back in. And then pry this piece out. I'm just showing the full process, but because I am still trying to get better at these reviews. I won't edit though. I'll probably figure out a way for the thumbnail, just not editing. But then we have him back to normal. As for articulation, it's a lot, but it's very limited. So we have a ball joint at the head, which can go up that far, not so much down, and then tilt side to side, and then swivel all around. There's an extension at, you can actually extend the, it's really hard to do this because his face is super brittle, but extend the head up all the way. You can get down pretty far. You can go up pretty far, and then you can also tilt side to side. This headpiece really does bug me. I did that for Emotion, which we'll go over in a bit, and go all the way around. But there's also eye movement, which is something I did try to do for Shockwave, but that's what that is for. It's for eye movement, to make him more expressive if he wants to look side to side. Because he's a robot and I want you to see the expression. He's supposed to have expression and like emotion into him, but it doesn't work the greatest. So for the arms, there's a hinge here, but don't push it all the way because then you'll break, because then you'll like completely break it. But you can see it slowly move. And that's a friction joint, sorry. But there's a hinge joint that can hinge up all the way. Can't. It's probably one of my biggest issues with the engineering, but it can go all the way around. There's a swivel at the forearm. Come on, connect. And then ball joint, articulated fingers, double jointed, but you have to like shift it to only get like barely 90 degrees. You can peg it out to get a full bicep swivel, but it can only lock in 4 places. You can remove these ball joints out the way. The leg can go forward this far, backward this far, go up all the way, barely 90 degrees side to side, and nothing there, and then a toe hinge. Going over the torso quickly, you simply hinge this piece out. You can tilt side to side, go all the way around, and then not go down that far, and then hinge this piece out. You can go up that far. Overall thoughts, I do have about 2 minutes here, but I'm going to try and wrap this up quickly. Overall thoughts here, I really do love this design. It's probably one of my best simplistic pieces, but this thing keeps falling off, which is annoying. But one of my simplistic designs, really love it. But rating 7 out of 10 immediately, because this thing definitely restricts it. It is very loose too. You barely get anything out of there, so. But I do like the design, the quote-unquote engineering with this, the fact that you have to hide. It's pretty much hidden. You wouldn't even tell that would work unless you see the ball joint. So, really cool. I don't like the head limiter, nor the legs either. Even here, although you can extend it. But accessories, really good. And this thing keeps going out of focus, in focus, and blurring. But as for the next thing, You're probably gonna think, oh, Robot First Aid or Iron Man First Aid, but this is the next thing I'm gonna do for this design. Then we'll go to Transformers movies, but I'm definitely gonna focus out of this. As I finish Sound Blaster, we'll be done, and then I'll probably do Megatron and Optimus near the end of the year. But that's all. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out, work on Sound Blaster at some point, do the review, probably late. But other than that, Cyber Magnet Studios logging off. I'll see you in the next one.